Hey, this is Steve from Bnn. Today we're going to be talking about one of our popular products, the Bnn Shift Improver Kit. Now this kit right here in front of me is set up for our Turbo 350 transmission, but please check our website for more details on different makes, models, and years we make kits for. Now this Bnn Shift Improver Kit basically has got two kits in one. Now the first kit is called Stage 1. It's set up for motorhomes, for RVs, and for vehicles that are towing. It's going to help improve the shift quality over stock. It's going to help make the tranny run a little bit cooler, and also it's going to help the overall longevity life of the transmission. Now the second kit is called Stage 2. It's set up for street and strip action, for 4x4s, and for off-road. This is going to give you the fastest, crispest shift possible. Also, it's going to help longevity life of the tranny, and it's also going to help it run a little bit cooler. Now, the tools for the job are speed wrench or a ratchet, half-inch socket, flat blade screwdriver, a torque wrench, and a drill. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get installed in this K10 here. Okay, we're in the shop today. We've got a classic 1981 Chevy K10 four-wheel drive pickup truck we're going to be working on. We're going to go ahead and start off by loosening up a couple of these bolts, and then draining some of the fluid out of the transmission pan, and then go ahead and removing the rest of the bolts, and then taking that transmission pan out. So let's get started. Okay, we got our transmission pan off. Now we're going to go ahead and just carefully pull down the gasket here. Now if it's a reusable kind, go ahead and clean it, inspect it, and then it can be reused. Okay. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove this filter. We're going to remove these two screws, and this thing will drop down. Be careful, there may be fluid still on it. Okay, just going to pull straight down. Okay, we're going to go ahead and remove the pivot clip right here, remove the bracket off the control detent valve wire right here. So we'll start by just pulling this clip. And then we're going to go ahead and take the bracket off the wire. And we'll set these aside. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and remove the 18 valve body bolt. And then once you remove these bolts and you start to drop down the valve body, you're going to go ahead and disconnect this S-link right here. The first bolt we're going to go ahead and remove is this one right here. It's got the detent spring with the roller on it. We're going to go ahead and remove this guy and then set it aside. Okay, we're going to go ahead and remove the last bolt here on the valve body. Now as we drop this straight down, we're going to disconnect the S-link right here, and then we're going to want to make sure that the manual valve right here does not fall out of the valve body. So next to come off is going to be the support plate that holds the separator on. Now if the vehicle's in park, you may not get access to this bolt, so you may need to go and put the vehicle in neutral or reverse so you can get access to this bolt right here. Okay, after you remove the bolts on that support plate, the separator plate here, it's going to fall down, and all those check balls are going to fall down. So what I like to do is take a transmission pan bolt, just one of them, and you're going to screw it in right here next to this bolt, and you're going to screw it in finger tight. Now what that's going to do is when you release these bolts, your separator plate won't fall down. It actually stays in place until you're ready, and then you just obviously just back off that bolt. Okay, we got our support plate off. We got our one bolt that's using as a tool right now to hold the separator plate in place. Now when we undo this bolt, we're going to slowly drop it down. Now your servo valve may come out. If it does come out, please see our instructions how to properly reinstall it. And then also when you're dropping this separator plate, there's going to be 4 check balls that are possibly going to fall out. Okay, so we got our separator plate off. We're going to go ahead and set this away. Now a little trick in your drain pan, whatever you're using to catch the transmission fluid, at this time you want to go ahead and put a rag before you remove that separator plate, and that rag will act as a little filter here. It will catch all 4 of those little check balls for you. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and remove the gasket here. We'll make sure you clean it all off and scrape it. Okay, we got a gasket off. Now we're going to go ahead and just throw this away. Okay, now we got all our parts out. We're going to go ahead and clean the valve body. Make sure it's nice and clean with some solvent. And then also the support plate here. We're going to clean this gasket off. And then we're going to take a file and we're going to run it across this top edge and make sure there's no burrs or anything. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take this gasket off the support plate. Okay, we got our support plate here for the separator plate. You can see here that it's got these little grooves. That's where the original bolts were. So on the back side here, where this is nice and smooth, we want to make sure there's no high spots. We got one little high spot right about here. So we're going to take a fine file, and we're going to go ahead and put this in the vise. Okay, we got the new Bnn separator plate. It comes in the kit. Now this separator plate does have to be modified depending on what stage you want to go with. So again, stage 1 is for motorhomes, RVs, or for vehicles towing. If you're going to do that, then you want to go ahead and drill a hole right next to this one with the supplied 3/16 drill bit that comes in the kit. And you're going to use the valve body as a guide to figure out where that hole is going to be. Now if you're going to do stage 2, like we're going to do for street strip and for 4x4s and off-road, we're going to basically enlarge this hole right here. And you're going to enlarge this hole to the 3/16 diameter with this drill bit, and then you're going to reuse only 1 check ball, and it's going to go right here where I marked it with a Sharpie. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put this in the solvent tank, go ahead and clean this off. We're going to also check to make sure there's no burrs on the backside. Okay, the kit comes with 2 gaskets. This one gasket here, it's got the Z-notch. The other gasket does not. This one here is going to be used for the valve body to the separator plate. And then the other gasket is going to be used for the transmission to the separator plate. So we already went ahead and put this on to our new Bnn separator plate. Now again, we're going to go ahead and set this up for stage 2 street and strip. So we're going to basically discard 3 out of the 4 check balls, and we're only going to use 1. So please see the instructions where that 1 check ball's got to go. And we went ahead and put some white lithium grease on the separator plate to help us hold it in place. So now we're going to go ahead and put it up. Now as we go ahead and put the new separator plate and gasket in place with that 1 check bulb now we're going to be used, we're going to use one of those transmission pan bolts to hold the separator in place for us. Okay, now we got the separator plate installed. Again, that transmission pan bolt is going to be our little helper and hold it in place for us. Okay, now we got our support plate in place. Now we're going to go ahead and just quickly remove our little helping us hold it in place. And we're going to put on the new gasket. Now this one here has got the Z-notch. So now this can go from the separator plate to the valve body. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and put on the support plate. Now in the kit, before you go ahead and put the stock support plate on, there's 2 additional ones. So the first one's going to be the silver one. This is going to go on first. The next is the gold one. And then lastly is your stock one. So we're going to go ahead and stack these up. Okay, we got them all started by hand. Now we're going to go ahead and torque down these bolts. We're going to torque them down to 100 inch-pounds. Okay, we're going to put the valve body back up in place. We went ahead and took our center bolt off that was holding the separator plate for us. Now you got the support bracket on, so now it's holding the separator plate for us. We went ahead and put our S-clip onto the manual valve right here. Now we're going to go ahead and push it up in place. And we're going to hook the S-clip right here. And we'll go ahead and start one of our bolts. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and tighten down the valve body, just like we did the support plate. We're going to tighten down the bolts to 100 inch-pounds. Now, since it's got a lot of bolts, we're going to start in a crisscross pattern. So we're going to start from here in this corner, we're going to go all the way down to this corner, and here to here, here to here, etc. And basically what's going to do is going to evenly tighten down this valve body to the transmission. Okay, with your valve body evenly tightened down, now go ahead and remove this one bolt and then reinstall the spring and the roller and then torque down that one bolt again to 100 inch-pounds. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and reconnect the detent control valve wire right here. We got the bracket and you got that pivot clip, so we're going to go ahead and reattach this. Okay. Now the tricky part here is just trying to line up the holes to get this pivot clip to snap in place. Okay, snapped in there. So you can see the detent wire is already reconnected to the bracket, and then we got the pivot clip holding in place. Okay, now that we got everything back together, now this is time where we have to check for a clearance issue. Now the clearance issue is going to be this bolt right here underneath this S clip right here. Now what happens is when you go to shift gears, you got to check to make sure this arm does not hit that bolt head. It should have about a 1/16 of clearance. And the reason that's an issue now is since you added those 2 extra support plates underneath the stock one. So it's going to space it down a little bit. So now we're going to go ahead, we're going to run through the gears and make sure that this bolt head doesn't have any interference. Okay, now we're in low gear. Now we can see the bracket clears the head of that bolt. And looks like we have clearance still. This is second gear. Yep, we got plenty of clearance. Now we're going to go ahead and put it in third. And we got clearance. Okay, so again, I'm going to go ahead and put this in low. You can see the arm misses the head of that bolt. Now in some vehicles, this may be an issue. If it is an issue, you're going to have to trim a little bit of the edge of the bolt off so you allow clearance for this bracket. So as it swings, when you're going through the gears, it does not hit that bolt head. Okay, next we're ready to go ahead and put on the pan. But in this case, since we have that all torn apart, this is the time to go ahead and change it out to the new Bnn Deep Trans pan. So let's get this installed. Okay, we've got our pan in place here. We're going to go ahead and put our bolts in. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and torque down our transmission pan and also torque down our drain plug. The transmission pan, you want to torque down the bolts 12 to 13 foot-pounds, and then the drain plug here 20 to 25 foot-pounds. So we're going to go ahead and torque this down. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and torque down the drain plug. We're going to torque it down between 20 to 25 foot-pounds. Okay, that concludes our installation here on our B&M Shift Improver Kit. Installation time was roughly about an hour. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching, and I'm going to go hit the highway. Be sure to subscribe to our B&M YouTube channel, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.